As the AFC West gets a little tougher on Friday night as the Las Vegas Raiders add a veteran quarterback via trade with Seattle. Geno Smith heads south in exchange for a third-round pick. Obviously, the headline is that he reunites with Pete Carroll, with whom his sort of career renaissance took place when they were together in Seattle. The Raiders haven't gotten much production from the quarterback position since Derek Carr moved on a couple of seasons ago. They've been bottom 5 in total QBR, touchdown to interception ratio, 20-yard completions. They remain in search of their first AFC West title, amazingly enough, since 2002. Adam Schefter joins me now. Adam, I'm sitting here on a Friday night, minding my own business, having dinner with the fam. All of a sudden, the phone starts going goofy because you're out there breaking news. They say, we got to talk to Adam about Geno Smith. I said, what happened to Geno Smith? Oh, he plays for the Raiders. How'd that happen? So what do you got for me here? How'd this come together?
Well, Scott, let's give you the backstory of how this did come together. Essentially, the Seahawks had sat down to try to do an extension with Geno Smith, who had 1 year remaining on his contract. They were not able to make any progress towards a new deal. And I think Geno wasn't particularly thrilled with the way contract talks had went. And when they stalled and went backwards, lo and behold, his former head coach, Pete Carroll, comes out of the woodworks from Las Vegas and approaches Seattle about trying to get a trade done for Geno Smith. And after recognizing that they were not going to be able to bridge their differences with Geno Smith on a new contract, the Seahawks ultimately opted to trade a 35-year-old two-time Pro Bowl quarterback for a third-round draft pick. If Geno Smith liked what Seattle was offering, if the two sides were able to bridge their differences, this trade would not have happened. Geno Smith would be in Seattle. That was their ultimately leading choice to be the starting quarterback, but we had a quarterback who wasn't happy with the progression of these contract talks that ultimately led with him being traded to the Las Vegas Raiders.
There's the football piece. I mean, they had an O-line issues that were obvious last year, but it's interesting. He was trying to get it done there, but it doesn't happen. And I think, Adam, we all understand that there's the Pete Carroll connection, but because Brady's got this involvement with the Raiders, we look at that lens and wonder, is there involvement from his perspective, or is that just completely irrelevant to this conversation because it's a Pete Carroll, Geno Smith thing?
Well, I think Tom Brady ultimately has to sign off on this, Scott, and be on board with the acquisition of Geno Smith. But let's be honest here. When Pete Carroll becomes the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, Pete Carroll is the one driving the acquisition of Geno Smith. You need the support of Tom Brady, who has to sign off on it. But if the Las Vegas Raiders had hired Ben Johnson or Kellen Moore or Liam Cohn as their head coach, I feel quite confident in saying that Geno Smith would not be the quarterback of the Las Vegas Raiders today, that he would still be in Seattle. But because of the connections in Seattle between Pete Carroll and Geno Smith, with the Raiders needing a quarterback, the Raiders opted to fill their opening with a trade for Geno Smith, which, of course, has all types of ramifications on the rest of the quarterback carousel.
Right, notably Seattle, who now needs one, right? There's company in that room of people looking around saying, who's our guy? Now Seattle's in that mix. Is there a sense of what that market looks like, just as a final thought, Adam?
Well, yeah, Scott, the first guy you're looking at is Sam Darnold.
Of course.
The Seahawks' new offensive coordinator is Clint Kubiak. Who did Clint Kubiak work with in San Francisco? Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold is out there. I think Pittsburgh is expected to have interest. The Giants are expected to have interest. But lo and behold, Seattle suddenly has an opening, and they cleared out Geno Smith's salary, and they have a coach that used to work with Sam Darnold. So clearly, Seattle's going to make a run here at Sam Darnold in the coming days to see if they can convince him to become a Seattle Seahawk.
There really is no offseason in this league. It's remarkable. There's been all kinds of news this week, and then we get free agency next week. Adam, you're a busy man. I appreciate you making some time on a Friday evening.
Thank you very much, Scott.